Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to make this backstop with puffy sleeves. I hope you learn a thing or two. Please make sure to subscribe, like and share, and let's get into the video. First, we're going to be starting with our front pattern, right? So as you can see, we have our bust line, under bust, and waistline, also the full length. So the full length of my top is 23 inches. So now we're going to go ahead and place our bust dart, which is 4 inches. So I'm placing that on the bust line, on the under bust, and the waistline, and also the full length. So we're placing the 4 inches. Now on the waistline, we are going to go with 1 inch on both sides, both on the waistline and the under bust. We are going to go ahead and roll that in. Next, we are going to be using our curved ruler to connect the lines from the under bust to the bust line. Now we are going to be doing it on both sides. Next, we will be placing our ruler on that bust, that line, that 4 inch, and then we're going to be rolling up towards our shoulder. So you can see what I did here. Next, we're placing our neck depth, which is 7 inches. Then on the bust that line, we are going to be placing 6 inches. So for our neck, we have 7 inches at the center front, and at the side front we have 6 inches. So we're going to be connecting those two lines together with a curved ruler. Next, I'm also going to be placing my ruler on the bust, that line, and then I'm going to still roll the shorter line towards the shoulder so that we can take in our bust dart. So for our bust dart, we are going to be placing your tape on that bust line. Here you can see where I'm placing my tape. So on the left side we place 0.75, and on the right side we are placing 1 inch. You can choose to place 1 inch on both sides instead of 0.75 and 1 inch. So I'm going to use my ruler to connect those two dots to the bust line. Next, for our neck width is 4 inches. We're connecting the 4 inch to that point where you see me pointing at. So we're going to place our ruler and roll the line so it's an angled line. I'm just going to take a more visible marker to mark that so that you can see it better. Next, I'm going to be placing 1 inch for our shoulder slope. So we are going to use our tape and place the 1 inch. and then go ahead and use our ruler to roll that in. Next, we're going to be adding our body measurements. So I'm adding my bust measurement, 1 inch sewing allowance, and then roughly ½ inch for the dart. And then I'm also going to be placing my bust measurement on my chest line. Then I'll place my 1 inch sewing allowance, and then for my bust dart, I just added 1 inch or 0.75. Next, for our under bust, we are going to be placing waist measurement, 1 inch sewing allowance, and then 2 inches for the dart. Also, we'll be placing our waist measurement, then we'll be placing 1 inch sewing allowance and 2 inches for the dart. Next, we are going to be placing our tape from our waistline to the full length, and then we are going to be marking 3.5 inch upwards from the full length. And then next, I'm going to use my curved ruler to cover the line, connecting it to the center of the pattern, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and use my straight ruler to complete those lines. So next, we are going to be connecting the lines on our front pattern. So we're just going to be connecting those lines. And then from the waistline to the back, so we're just going to roll a straight line. The armhole, so we're going to be placing our tape to get the midpoint for our armhole, which is 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that, and then on that 4 inch we are going to be coming inwards by ½ inch. So I'm going to mark that. Next, we're going to be going in with our curved ruler to connect the lower point from the 4 inch down towards the armhole to get the armhole. So next, we'll be using our straight ruler to connect the remaining lines. For the back pattern, our back neck width is 4 inches, so I'm just going to be marking that. And then on our shoulder slope, we'll be coming down by 1 inch. We're going to go ahead and connect those 2 dots. For our neck depth, we'll be marking 1 inch for our neck depth, and we're going to connect the two lines together. Next, we are going to be putting in our bust dart, which is 4 inches. So we place 4 inches, then place ½ inch on both sides. So next, I'm also going to be marking 4 inches on my bust line, and then I'll be also marking 4 inch on my chest line. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler and connect those lines together. Next, for my armhole, we are going to be placing the tape on the armhole, and we are going to be getting the midpoint, which is 4 inches, and then we are going to go ahead and curve that dot to the dot line we have on the chest line. So I'm just going to use our curve ruler and curve that in. Then I would be adding my body measurements. So I'm going to be placing my bust measurement with 1 inch allowance, and then the allowance for the dart is ½ inch. Moving to the chest line, I'll add my bust measurement, which is 10 inches, 1 inch sewing allowance, and then for the dart, ½ inch. Moving to the under bust, we'll place my under bust measurement, 1 inch sewing allowance, and 1 inch for the dart. And then I'll also move to the waist and place my waist measurement, 1 inch sewing allowance, and 1 inch for the dart. Now moving to the full length. The full length for the back, I made it 21 inches, so we are going to be taking 1.5. Remember, for the front I made it 23 inches. So now you place your front pattern on your back and make sure that it aligns. You can see mine aligns exactly with where I marked, right? So we are going to make sure of that. After you've checked that to make sure that they both align, then we would go ahead and use a ruler and curve out the backsness of the back. I don't want my back to be so backs as the front, so that's why the curve is going to be really minimal. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler and curve that out. So next I'm going to roll in my body measurements. I'm going to go ahead and write my zipper allowance, so I don't forget to add my zip allowance when I'm cutting on my fabric. For the armhole, we are just going to go ahead and use our curved roller, place it around the armhole, and then draw out the armhole curve. Next, for the sleeve, here I have my basic sleeve pattern, so I made it a short sleeve, and then now we are going to go ahead and mark 2 inches at the top and at the bottom. So right here I'm ruling in my 2 inches. So what we want to do here is the slash and spread method. So that's what we're going to be using for the sleeve. That way it's puffy, right? Now I'm going to number it so I don't get confused when we are slashing. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Then we'll take a fresh brown paper, right? And then measure 1/2 inch on both sides and roll it. That way we have a straight line, and then we also use it for our sewing allowance. So now I'm going to use top bond and then just place at the back of the sleeve that we already cut out, and then I'll be placing a gap of 1 inch. So you can go ahead and make yours 1.5 or 1/2 inch if you like, if you want it to be a bit less puffy. So I'm just going to be placing 1 inch, then place the next sleeve piece that we've cut out, and then it's good that I numbered it so that I don't get confused with any part or make any kind of mistake. So now I measured 1 inch at the top of the sleeve. So it's more like we are raising the cap of the sleeve, right? We are raising up the cap of the sleeve by 1 inch, and you can see I brought it down. Coming down, it started reducing. It's more like a slanted 1.5 inch. So right here I already placed my paper on my fabric and cut it out, and this is what the front piece is looking like. Then for the back piece, this is what it's looking like, right? So I added 1/2 inch on all sides except from the side where we already added sewing allowance. Then I already joined my back piece together. This is what the front and the lining is looking like, right? All neat and nice. I added cloth gum to my fabric and my lining. For my front piece, this is what it's looking like, and then I'm going to flip it and show you guys what the back looks like. The lining, so nice and neat and beautiful. Next we are going to be joining the front and back piece together on the shoulder and the sides, right? Right here I already joined the shoulder and the sides together, and this is what it's looking like. I decided to show you guys what it looks like. So what is left is our sleeve, right? This is just a little view of what the back looks like. It's looking nice and pretty. And then next for our sleeve, right here I already gathered the lower part of the sleeve, right? So I'm just going to measure to make sure that it's with my round sleeve. So my round sleeve is 13, so I'm just gathering it because I have a little bit extra. So my round sleeve is 13, and then I just gathered a little bit to remove 1 inch. So this is what the lower band is looking like. So I just cut a piece of, I think, 2 inches, and then I folded it. So you just fold it in. It's more like a bias, right? So we're just going to place it that way. You can see the way I'm placing it, so we can sew the hem of the sleeve, right? So we're just going to pin that in, and then we'll pin it around. Here I'm going to show you what the pinned and sewn one is looking like. So this is what we have here. Yeah, so this is how beautiful it looks, right? So the front and the back are both sewn in neatly, right? So moving on, we are going to go ahead and sew the side of the sleeve, and then gather the top part of the sleeve, which is the cap of the sleeve. We are not gathering it all the way around, so it's just about 6 inches by the side, right? You're not gathering all the way around. I'll pull it and show you guys, so you see where my gathering is starting from. So we're just going to gather it and make sure that it is the right measurement for our round sleeve, right? So I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like as I'm gathering it. That way, the cap that we added, the 1.5 that we added for the increment of the cap, right? You can see how puffy it makes it look. So that's why we added that 1.5 at the cap of the sleeve, right? So this is what the sleeve is looking right like. So without even putting the sleeve has already formed its puffy shape, right? So I'm going to go ahead and join the sleeve my top. So this is what is looking like, nice and beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really found this video helpful. Please do make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.